So, here we are. It is Monday night. It's just gone 9 p.m. in the UK. Waiting for people to join us on Facebook. I can now see Bobby is here. I can see Rich is here. Looked like it was going to be me and Rich for a minute. Myra's here as well. There's a couple of people watching on Facebook, on Twitter, actually. So, let me know who you are on Twitter, and I'll try and keep an eye out for any questions you might have. Rich just said he's got some really exciting news. He's got a job. So, you just found out today, Rich, you got a job, booked a TV gig for January in New Orleans. Is it like, what is it, Rich? Tell us a bit more about it if you can. Bobby's here, says still waiting on our Skype call. Bobby, where have you been? John Fisk is now in the house as well. Everybody's just been leaving me hanging tonight, but now they're here, which is all good. Rich, tell us a little bit about the job, man, and then we'll have a look at a few things I want to talk about tonight. It's the last book club of 2018 tonight. We're going to just delve into, just briefly, Andro Donovan's book, Motivate Yourself, again, just for the last time. But I'm really going to kind of talk around this chapter because it goes into, it talks about a lot of stuff we normally talk about. I just want to kind of wanted some real talk with you all tonight, really. Get everybody just kind of really on the right path to have a massive year in 2019. Rich said, yeah, I had network approval today. It's a new series with Kirsten Dunst, produced by George Clooney. This is ridiculous. It's because you're a bulletproof actor, Rich. You know what I mean, mate? You're just smashing it. Absolutely smashing it. Well, that's rather bloody incredible, isn't it? Tell George I'm available. Bobby's available. John Fisk is available. Myra's definitely available. Everyone else on this is available. Basically, everyone in the Acts on this community who we like is available. And we'll all, pop over, do our little bit. Bobby says I was a bit moody over getting minorly disrespected a few minutes ago, but getting better now. Who minorly disrespected you, Bobby? Or was that me because I didn't give a Skype call with you? We will do that at some point, man. Yeah, let me know who's been minorly disrespecting you. We'll take them down. We will absolutely annihilate them, Bobby. I'm not condoning any kind of violence. So yeah, a couple of things. Do you know what? Do you know something I do want to talk about? I don't have a rant about it, but I do think at this, just, do you know what? Not just at this time of year, just like in life, full stop, all the time. I want to talk about a couple of things, and it ties into the book club tonight. I want to talk about accountability. For the first time ever in the history of me running a coaching program for actors, Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success, yesterday, for the first time ever, and I never, ever, ever wanted to do this, I had to ask somebody to leave the program. Obviously gave them all the money back. I realised yesterday, this was a real lesson for me, that in life, it is inevitable, in all walks of life, not just the acting industry, not just creatively, just in all walks of life, it's inevitable. You are going to meet people who, you are just incompatible with, in terms of, and you know me, I'm pretty I'm pretty flexible and liberal in terms of just, I will help anybody where I can. But it dawned on me yesterday that some people just don't want to be helped or aren't ready to be helped. And this all stemmed around accountability. And I think this is something that can absolutely supercharge your life if you can get your head around it. Taking full accountability for where you are at, what you are doing, and not blaming other people for where you're at or other. I mean, I think everything's my fault in the nicest possible way. I mean that in an empowering way. If I'm not working, if my relationships aren't working, if I'm not in good shape, if I'm not feeling well, if I'm not well off, if my finances aren't going well, I'm like, right, well, Ross, this is all your fault, mate. Because I want to take full accountability for it, because it gives me the power back to then go, well, you know what? If you've got yourself into this, you can get yourself out of it. It's massively empowering, as opposed to going, oh, that person did this to me. I'm not working because of my agent, because that casting director didn't like me, because, I'm not... that person stole some money off me. If that person stole some money off me, it's my fault because I trusted them. If I don't know. I mean, in everything, whatever happens to me, I chose to be in that situation at that time. It is my fault, and it's great because I know it's weird to get your head around, but it's just so empowering, because it's right, okay, I can do something about this, and I'm going to fix this problem. I'm going to work towards getting out of it. And this person just would not have any of that at all, and was just very angry with the world and out to blame everybody but themselves for the situation they were in. And I was like, well, until you can kind of start blaming consciously and working through this without feeling a victim to everything, blame me for so many things as well. And all I've done is try and help this person. Like, blame me for really like big issues in the wider world as well. Like, I mean, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. But yeah, accountability around what you're, you're just taking responsibility for where you're at, basically, and not complaining. I just think it's an absolute superpower. Ollie's here again. All right, Ollie, just finished listening to your interview with Asan. Amazing, pumped up. Nice. Do you know what? Perfect timing, Ollie. Asan Jai, I just put out a podcast with him this morning on actonthis.tv. He plays Ellis Chapman in Emmerdale. A new character, new regular character in that. We talk about, in that interview, Ollie, you will have heard, Asan had been through some really difficult times at the start of this year. Like, phoned his agent and literally said, I'm putting my career on hold for 2 weeks. I just need some time out. Can't process all this stuff. Nick's here as well. All right, Nick. Hope you're well, mate. Nick says, I'm causing global warming again. Yeah, no, honestly, it's my fault, Nick. Everything is my fault. No, I won't take responsibility for global warming. But yeah, Asan had £6.50 in the bank at the start of this year. I mean, literally, the guy was on his arse. And he'd had successful acting credits and stuff before that, but, like, money just doesn't last forever, does it? He was living in London. He had £6.50 in the bank. He talks about going into a fish shop in Woolwich, and he's like, mate, I just really want this fish. How much is that fish? And he's like, £6. And his girlfriend was like, just get it. And he's like, he said, I was pumped up, I ate it, and then I realised I had 50p in the bank. And he was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive this? But he said, again, take full accountability, full responsibility for where you're at. This is my rut, and I'm going to get myself out of this rut. Like 5 months later, he'd had a guest lead on Casualty, something called Agatha Raisin, which I've no idea about yet. I didn't completely miss that series being filmed. And then he got a regular on Emmerdale. Now he's not worrying about £6.50 in the bank. He's got infinitely more than that. But he took full accountability. He didn't go, oh my God, I got 50p in the bank and it's your fault, Richard. It's your fault, Ollie. You went, no, mate, this is completely my responsibility. I'm going to get myself out of that. Let me just play you a 60-second clip of Asan talking about that, actually. Check this out.
I was like, I want to be one of the best actors out there. I was like, I want to be the best actor in the world. That's what I said to them. And they were like, they looked at me, they were like, okay.
Welcome everybody to episode 47 of Watch Ross, the one where it is freaking freezing and we sit down for a podcast with Emmerdale's newest recruit, Mr. Asan Jai. Right, do you want to explain to people what this is?
Oh, the bottle of Hennessy. The power of the mind is actually, it's a huge deal, but I don't think not everyone sort of understands the full power of what they could actually, of how far they can go. I walked in a shop in Woolwich, I had £6.50 in my bank account, £6.50. I was like, mate, how much is that fish? I just really wanted a fish. I was like, mate, how much is that fish? He was like, it's £6. Like, I'm going to prove to myself what I'm about. I'm going to prove to myself that I can get through this rut.
Episode 47 of the vlog. Can you believe that? 47 vlogs I've done in the last year and a bit. So you'll hear him there. He also brought a bottle of Hennessy round to do the interview with, so it started getting very. We drank that between us. I don't normally drink, but we started the chat started free flowing. We started talking very honestly about the industry. Didn't slay anybody. We shouldn't have done. But yeah, there's a guy who just stepped up to the plate and went, I'm gonna, it's just a young black guy from Doncaster. But you please go and listen to that. Watch the vlog at YouTube. It's youtube.com/watchross. Watch the vlog. It's completely free. And if you want to get access to the full 97-minute podcast, 1 hour and 37-minute chat about ultimately how Asan, got from being completely broke to now starring as one of the regular leads in Emmerdale, go to actonthis.tv. I'll show you where. Oh, wait a second. It'll go blank for a sec, but it's only for a second. So only for a second. Hang on. I'm gonna get this here. Wait a sec. Hang on. You should still be able to hear me, I think. There you go. So yeah, on the homepage there, you'll see it there, top left, next to Julie Hesmondhalgh, another fantastic podcast. Next to Nick Phillips, another fantastic podcast. Look at all these podcasts on here. Guy Howe, WGM Talent. You want to get an agent, go listen to that. Haisha Mystery, an actress with my agent. She's now starting in Hollyoaks. I've done a podcast with my voiceover agent there, talking about voiceover. Humor's casting director, Victor Jenkins. Rachel Shenton won an Oscar, had her on. Rob James Collier, Downton Abbey. Hollyoaks casting director, Peter Hunt. Debbie Horsfield, writes Poldark. Michael Jackson, casting director. I mean, that's only a few. There's literally there must be 40 or so interviews on here now with the biggest casting directors, writers, producers, directors, actors in the industry. Go and listen to Asan's podcast. You can even, if you just click on one of these little blue buttons here, you can even go through and just listen to like a 10-minute preview, so you know it's legit and you're going to enjoy it. You just click on the player there and it'll give you 10 minutes. And then if you want to listen to the whole thing, get a premium membership by clicking on one of the green buttons here. Go premium. It'll take you through to a sign-up page. 10 quid a month or 90 quid for the year. Absolute freaking bargain. But go and do it. In it, Ollie. It's a brilliant interview, honestly, and it's just true talk about a guy who's taking responsibility for where he is in life, basically. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. We might as well get cracking on at the book club. I forgot to charge my iPad up, so I've got it on Kindle on my Mac. So I'm going to stare at the screen here. I'm going to dip in and out of this book tonight because I'm going to expand on the points that it talks about. And the entire premise of this book is to motivate yourself. So you don't need external motivation necessarily. I still go and get external motivation by tuning into things like this, watching motivational videos, listening to motivational podcasts, like everything that's on this. But it's also about learning how to motivate yourself internally by really getting a grip on your mental toughness, on your mental game, effectively. I hate this whole kind of almost like term mental health, where people use it in a really negative way, going, oh, someone said to me, this is what I mean, this is what's crazy. I'm probably not even allowed to say crazy these days. I used the term, I said, this is insane value. She said, this woman, honestly, I'm not even joking, said, on behalf of the entire mental health community, I am offended. I was like, for fuck's sake, seriously, get a grip of your life if you're offended by that. That's bullshit. But this whole mental health community, it's nonsense. How about just call it humanity, right? We all have mental and physical health, every single one of us. I have my physical health and I have my mental health. Stop trying to own this space of going, I'm special for some reason because I might struggle more than you. It's bollocks. We all struggle with shit. Stop thinking that your shit's more special than anybody else's. But yeah, ultimately getting on top of our mental health, being kind to ourselves, understanding our emotions, mastering our emotions is really the basis of success in terms of going, the thing that will either stop you in your tracks or fuel you to go and crush it next year is going to be ultimately your belief system, your psychology, and your mental health. So let's look at mental health as a positive, not I can't say the word mental health without it actually being some sort of negative and people thinking, oh, I'm weird and I'm mad or something. Ollie says, it's great. My acting career has not even started. Had 3 successful businesses, which have 100% taught me so much mental toughness. Yes, Ollie, this is what I'm talking about. And rejection lessons and mindset. I've had so many downs in business, even had to move back to my mum's before selling my business and travelling the world, moving to London next year and getting acting lessons, excited but amazing to be part of that. So this, Ollie, man, I mean, you're exactly the perfect freaking candidate for somebody to be in the community in acting. This is you're exactly the type of person I want in this community. Someone who's been there, got out of his comfort zone, tried shit, failed, and is coming back to do it all over again in something that you've probably never done before. It's that's exactly what we're all about. John says he's in the system. It wasn't my choice. You have to let us know a bit about that. Do you mean in terms of what are you talking about, mental health and stuff, John? And let us know what what the system is actually in terms of how it's benefiting you or not. Because I just think people can get lost in systems, mate, completely, and people just don't give practical. A friend of mine went to get some therapy, have some cognitive behavioural stuff, and basically was like, listen, I'm really struggling with this, and this went, here's a leaflet. I was like, I could do more for you if you just sit down with me in 30 minutes, we'll have a coffee and we'll talk about life. Let's see where you're at, and let's look at taking some practical steps, actionable steps to getting you out of the situation you're in into a better place. So we don't need to synthetically, I don't know, kind of just bandage over the real problem by just filling people with synthetic serotonin and dopamine, going, just take all these pills and you'll be great. How about we just really fix the problem? And I'm not saying there aren't genuine deficiencies with people where you do need that sort of stuff. I'm not a psychologist in that sense. I'm not a doctor. And I would never, ever try and advise anybody on anything like that, but I do think a lot of people who, you know, are prescribed stuff these days, they're not actually deficient of those chemicals. They're just very sad because of the situation they're in or the situation life has dealt them, and no one's taught them the emotional mastery to work through that and turn their life back around. And they often have to do that on their own, and they do eventually, but I think it could happen much quicker. So yeah, I'm interested in that, John, definitely. It's cognition's behavioral therapy, but you are the man when it comes to acting psychology. Yeah, man, I'm definitely not, I would never ever prefer, don't ever, think I'm trying to be a psychologist or anything like that. But I am very much just fascinated by human behavior, and believe, for most people in this industry particularly, who really are stuck in ruts and would class themselves as a bit depressed. I don't mean clinical depression. I mean, they're just very unhappy. We can sort that shit out with just a bit of action taking, man. Definitely, and really getting clear on what we're doing and being able to motivate ourselves. So this part of the book, this is Andro Donovan's book, Motivate Yourself. Would highly recommend it to just anybody in any walk of life. Don't have to, it's nothing to do with acting. This is just down to motivating yourself to go and have success in whatever you want. This section is chapter 5 of the book. It's titled Wired for Satisfaction, and it starts with, let's see if I can read this on my computer tonight. Starts with a quote by Henry Ford. It's cliched as hell, but it's freaking true. Preach it, preach it, preach it, and I believe it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's a quote by Henry Ford. Ollie says, I'm a year into therapy. I shit you not, changed my life. The stuff I have jumped into in my therapy is all about talk about what happened in childhood, learning about why you react the way you do in certain situations. Absolutely, Ollie. It's all Bulletproof Actor is about. Ultimately, your belief system, buddy, has been entirely cultivated by previous experiences, and most of those experiences that shape you as an adult happen when you're a child. And most of those situations you were put into by your parents, if you were lucky enough to have them around, and they will pass on all kind of their fears, their limiting beliefs to you. You have no choice at that age. You just believe everything your parents say, like, you believe in Father Christmas. So you believe if they say the world's a scary place and don't do that, you'll hurt yourself, then you believe them. And this really keeps people stuck a lot of the time. And they do things to please their parents, not to please themselves, and then they grow up to be very bitter, resentful adults. But it says here, with every thought and every decision we make about ourselves, we seal our fate. We are authors of our universe. What we think we are, we project out into the world. We are responsible, that key word again that I freaking love. We are responsible for our thoughts and their outcomes. Awareness of this fact is the most important stage of personal transformation. Becoming conscious of your limiting thinking patterns that have prevented you from living your life at the optimum levels of success and fulfillment. That's the next challenge. Most of the negative beliefs we have about ourselves are largely based on some erroneous evidence we gathered back in our childhood. So it's exactly what you're saying, Ollie. If we never dismantle these entrenched beliefs, then they control the views we have of ourselves, which in turn show up as limitations later on in life and become self-fulfilling prophecies. For example, you might say, I'm no good at relationships. Anyone here thought that? Maybe every relationship that I've ever been in has been bad. You just have this limiting belief that that's it, that's the way it is, and then you end up causing that to be the case. I can't lose weight is another big one. There's a guy in the Bulletproof Actor group right now, Lewis, shout out to him, total legend. He's already lost 7 stone. Found it quite difficult to applaud himself for losing that 7 stone because he's focusing on the 7 stone that he needs to lose again. I'm like, mate, you've got to celebrate that, and don't think that this is the way your past will equal your future. It doesn't mean that, you've been big in the past. You've always got to be big. You've already done the thing you need to do to get to your ideal weight. You just got to do it again. So he literally, I've set him some action. I said, listen, you've got to go out there, seek somebody who's going to work out with you or keep you accountable. Because again, accountability is freaking key to everything. And he just told me today that he signed up for a big lads football team. So it's kind of like, a football team for guys who are carrying a bit of weight, and they're all playing together in order to, get the body composition that they want. It's not limited by that belief that I'm big boned. I'm always going to be that way. There's other limiting beliefs. I'm not pretty. It says here, I'm not pretty, and boys tend not to like me. Another massive limiting belief. I'm terrible at drawing. Maybe you were shit at art at school or whatever, or you weren't, but your art teacher just told you were. You've grown up with a limiting belief around that. I'm bad at expressing my emotions. That's one that men particularly struggle with. That's just because they tell themselves, but men. How many times you hear a man go, yeah, but men can't multitask, can they? They're just telling themselves that as an excuse for why they're shit at something, as opposed to go, no, of course I can do this. I'm going to figure out a way to do it. Huge limiting beliefs. The motivational principle then behind this: only by shifting our stance from I can't to I can will we be in the running for a better, more fulfilling life that represents who we are today and what we want our tomorrow filled with. Remember, the excuses we use to avoid doing great things with our lives are a good way of avoiding failure. For example, saying I can't lose weight over and over again to ourselves is a convenient way of continuing to eat all the stuff that's calorific. You know, when one of these self-limiting beliefs comes up, you've got to ask yourself, is this really true? What am I avoiding? Because it's probably change, the process of going through it, and the fear of the outcome if you don't get the thing you want. What if I change this belief to I can and I will? How would I benefit? And it says here, early recollection, you will paint what we want you to paint. So that might be, let's have a look. Oh, I've missed a little bit out here. One sec. That's what happens when I'm doing it on my Mac here. That was one of his early recollections. It says there, you will paint what we want you to paint. Ultimately, you know, you don't have a choice in what you're doing. That, you know, you just dictated to. But you've got to change that up. Rich, how did you get the audition for this thing with George Clooney? And what was going through your head when you were going to that audition? Were you like, you know, yes, of course you can get this, or were you like, oh shit, holy shit, I want to know what you were thinking, and how you put yourself, because you did it, mate. You booked the job. I want to know what you were telling yourself. If it was affirmations, if it was positive self-talk, empowering beliefs around your potential, around your ability, and going, you know what, I've done this before. I always do it, you know, every time I'm going in for an audition, I'm like, of course you can do this. Everything you need is within you now. You've got the courage to see this through. You've been in this situation so many times before and you booked the job. Why not now? You know, I just want to know, what was going through your head. Let us know, type that in. So he says, I remember as a tiny child of 3.5 years old being asked to paint a picture. This is what he's talking about. It was just dictated to what to paint. It was a bit like a show and tell art class where the little nursery children would paint something that they had done at the weekend. I used to do this all the time, and I'd paint the same thing because like, I didn't have an imagination as a kid, you know. I found it very hard to paint a different scene, and I remember my teacher ripping my painting up every week and smacking me for having a lack of imagination. I wanted to just choke slam her, but I was only 4. Couldn't do it. It was a bit like a show and tell art class where the little nursery children would paint something that they'd done at the weekend. I remember standing in front of my easel, all pinned up, and looking at this lovely white crisp sheet of paper. In front of me were several pots of gooey paint and some brushes stuffed in a jam jar. The classroom smelt of warm milk. In those days, we used to have milk delivered every day to the nursery. While I was getting into my creative process, my mind was cast back to the sunny weekend where we spent most of our time playing outdoors. It will come as no surprise to you that I then painted a beautiful orange and yellow sun. I was so caught up in the moment and my delicious experience of the colour and the heat and the whole canvas. The whole canvas ended up in a thick layer of yellow-orange paint. Standing up and putting my brush down as if to declare the masterpiece was complete, that was my first childish error. The teacher approached with an anticipatory smile on her face. Her reprimand was that in my obvious playing around, I had wasted the paint and the sheet. Her words cut through me and etched a deep scar of shame upon my heart. Grabbing my beautiful painting from the table, this sounds like the same teacher I had, from the table, she unceremoniously tore it up and threw it in the bin. Shit, that's exactly, I haven't read this chapter before tonight. Mrs. Shepherd was her name. All right, Lowry, bless you, Mrs. Shepherd. I'm sure you're dead by now, but you were an absolute bitch to me. I'm sure you were probably all right, and you thought you were doing me some good by instilling discipline or something. But every time I painted a picture or colouring a picture with pencils or whatever, I did the same thing every weekend. I'd go to the park, I'd play with my dog, and I'd paint the same kind of thing each week. And so many times she tore it up in front of me and in front of the class. Luckily, it didn't really scar me for life. I just went home and told my dad, and he just put me right. It was fine. But this sounds like exactly the same. But can you see how this is now going to cause limiting beliefs in this guy's mind? You can't draw. You should do as you're told. He says, my heart broke into tiny fragments as I wondered what my punishment for being creative and thinking outside the box would be. Her expectations were of the traditional pretty picture, sky, the sun, flowers, house, and a happy family. And I had dared to give her abstract expressionism. Her message was expressing yourself gets you into trouble. Be what they want you to be. Imagine a lifetime of such experiences where we see ourselves through the eyes of our significant adults. We are made to see our limitations reflected in their words, their expressions, and their negative feedback. They have forgotten what it was like to be a child. In forgetting this, they contaminate our self-esteem, and we begin to formulate negative beliefs around ourselves. The highly expressive child over time becomes a confused child, laid with beliefs such as I'm no good at painting, I am no good at, and you just fill in the blanks. It could be anything. Anyone ever had a Jill's going, what the beep? Jill, honestly, mate, my teacher was the same. Mrs. Shepherd, again, God bless you, rest your soul. But it didn't do me a lot of good. It didn't empower me. I was actually scared to go back to school the next day, and I just dealt with it because I was like, my dad was double hard, and we only lived over the road from the school. I thought if it really goes off, I can just call on him. But yeah, I didn't want to. Didn't want to. I just was petrified on a Tuesday when it was like picture book day. I think was Tuesdays going in, and yeah, had I allowed it to, and I don't know how I didn't. I think I must have just fluked this. I didn't grow up through later years at school thinking, I can't draw or whatever, but I could see how it definitely, you know what, it made me very fearful of authority in those early years, where I wouldn't speak up or whatever. Definitely when I was like 5 and 6, kind of came out my shell about 7 or 8, I think. But yeah, this is what happens. Anyone else got any experiences like that at school that maybe, and be honest with yourself, are any of those still limiting you today? Because this is what we do as human beings. We hold on to limiting beliefs for decades. And I mean decades. I know a friend of mine who's still got his limiting belief that he can't read very well because he was told that at 9 years old that at 11 he was told had a reading age of a 9-year-old. So he was 2 years behind. He was very embarrassed about that. He's now 36, can read perfectly. He won't get up and read at a wedding or a christening, anything like that, because in his head, he's not a very good reader. And this is bullshit. It's because one teacher 25 years ago put that in his head. And that could happen to you very, very recently, where it could have been one casting director at an audition last week makes you want to give up right now. One piece of feedback that's subjective because this industry is, where someone didn't like your performance, now you never want to perform again because of one person. It's what we do as human beings. We take on other people's beliefs. Which is crazy. Rich says, I got the submission from my agent. This is about Rich's audition in Louisiana. He's so freaking US, and he's not. He's from Birmingham, Rich. I had to self-tape for it. I was honestly on a bit of a downer. It's been pretty quiet this year. I liked the piece and felt good about it. I did what you said earlier. I've done this before. I looked for something different I could do for the recording. Once I'd submitted it, I let it go, which I found hard to do before working with you, mate. Thanks, Rich. I'm glad you found working with me useful. I hit the roof when the agent called. He has stuck by me for a long time. I'm over the moon to book it for him. I'm over the moon just for you to book it, mate, for yourself. You deserve it, though, Rich, mate. You do, honestly. Rich is a freaking hard worker, very positive, and you just keep putting it out there, Rich. It's just law of averages, mate. After probability, says that the longer you hang in the game, Rich, and you keep taking action, the more opportunities you're going to get, and thus, of course, you're going to book something eventually. So super happy for you, mate. Honestly, that's brilliant. But what you could have done is easily got wrapped up in limiting beliefs around, right, this could be my only opportunity, that last self-tape I did wasn't very good, or my all kinds of shit, and my camera's not good enough, sound's not good enough, lighting's not good enough, and then you just put it off, you don't do it. And then you miss out on the opportunity because of some other, bullshit limiting beliefs. Jill says, I wanted to be an air hostess. Nice, Jill. My dad said it was a glorified waitress, so I didn't go for it. I got married at 18 instead of learning language and traveling the world. I think that's where mine started. Wow. But I mean, that's your dad trying to look after you, innit? So you've got to blame consciously for that. You go, you know what? No resentment there. I know you were just trying to look after me. You probably just thought that air hostessing wasn't a viable career or whatever, and you just wanted me to be happy. But unfortunately, you pushed your fears. I just saw my mum doing this to me a lot, and I will consciously call her out and go, no, stop right now. This is because you're from a very different era to me, very risk averse. Don't push your fears onto me because I don't need them, right? I'll do this, and then we'll see if it works. And if it doesn't, it's not going to kill me. But yeah, our parents do that. They just want to look after us, don't they? But you know what, spouses, husbands, wives, they want to do that as well. And that's difficult in this acting industry because it's so freaking unpredictable. People are just like, it'd be. I think to a certain degree, I've never done it in 11 years, but I think to a certain degree, having a 9 till 5 would be pretty nice to go, you know what, coming home at 6 o'clock, and I could be sat downstairs in front of the TV, just with a coffee or whatever, just watching whatever's on, as opposed to going, right, I've got to edit the vlog, got to edit this podcast, I've got to sort out, I'm shooting another episode of the vlog tomorrow. I've got Stephen Graham, the actor Stephen Graham, and Warren Brown on the vlog this week. That's going to be incredible. Stephen's without a doubt one of the biggest names I've ever had on the vlog. Warren's a total legend. If you ever watched any of their stuff, This Is England, Boardwalk Empire, Good Cop was one of Warren's big things. And now they're doing a film at the weekend called Boiling Point. So I'm going to have a little chat with the director tomorrow, and then I'm going to go on set on Sunday and watch them shoot this film. Very locally to where I am as well, so it's super convenient. But yeah, rather than having all that to do and organise, I think sometimes maybe it would be quite nice to just, go, okay, just going to go and do the norm like most people want you to do. Stay safe. But it's too safe, isn't it? It's just not living, I don't think. Jill says exactly. Bobby says, I wanted to read a Sabrina the Teenage Witch novelisation. So I used to love Sabrina. Sabrina was fit, wasn't she, when you were a kid? I used to well fancy Sabrina. Don't know what she looks like now. Melissa Joan Hart was her name, wasn't it? Sorry about that. I wanted to read a Sabrina the Teenage Witch novelisation, and the teacher told me to pick something less girly. What was wrong with that? Spoken like an old person who'd never seen the show. These days, I'm a little nervous about letting people know what shows or movies I like. Girls can watch what they like, but boys have to watch manly things. I will happily admit, I watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She was very attractive for a 15-year-old boy when I was watching it. I'm sure it was about 50. Yeah, it must have been about 14, 15, mate. Nothing wrong with that. That's your teacher pushing that shit onto you, and then you end up honouring that. You've got to drop that, Bobby, and go, you know what, I'll watch what I want. It doesn't matter. Absolutely makes no difference. Just make sure you watch Ross on YouTube, though, my vlog. That's really manly. It's not at all. Absolutely not at all. It's unisex. It's completely whatever you want. It's open to all genders. I can't keep up with this stuff around gender. Honestly, I'll probably end up saying the completely wrong thing that you're not allowed to say anymore. But whatever you identify as, watch Ross, youtube.com/watch Ross. So yeah, interesting. Right, we'll dip in at the book again. Have a little dip. So yeah, the negative belief, I am no good at painting, for instance, in later life can morph into I am not good at anything. This is dangerous and debilitating, right? Look around you at your friends and family. I am sure you can hear words like this coming from them too, right? These are the inherited beliefs and mindsets that we need to rewrite into positive beliefs or affirmations, as I shall refer to them. And they are things like, I literally have, I know it sounds mental, but I've mentioned them loads of times before. I have positive affirmations when I go into pressurized situations where in my head, sometimes very quietly, even out loud to myself, I will remind myself as I'm going in. Oh, and it is just this, everything I need, this sounds so cultish and a bit weird, but everything I need is within me now, and I have the courage to see this through. Everything I need is within me now, and I have the courage to see it through. And it just, it's just a positive affirmation that creates empowering beliefs in your head that goes, stop worrying, stop being nervous, go and do this, you've got it. So imagine rewiring I am not good at anything into I am good at anything I choose to focus on. This is a powerful affirmation that gives you a great foundation from which to live your life. Do you think the latter would be a more helpful belief to adopt when you are embarking on something new? Because I do. I am good at anything I choose to focus on, as opposed to I am not good at anything. Changing your mindset question. So never stop challenging yourself with good questions when presented with a challenging situation. Do a quick mind flip and ask some open, exploratory questions. Things like, what do I feel great about? I'll ask you these now. Answer these for me now. What do you feel great about right now? And it can be a tiny, tiny little thing. Do you know what I feel great about? I feel great that on the 20th basically on the 21st of this month, I am going to say yes to myself, and I'm going to stop doing all work until the 30th, and I'm going to move into this new apartment. I feel great about that right now because I've had this apartment since June the 8th and I've refurbed it and I'm not living there yet. And I've not even got a Christmas tree. So I feel great about that. I know I've got to hustle my ass off for the next 10 days. This time, in 10 days, I'm going to be like ready to, on the night of the 21st, actually, yes, it's 11 days from now, I'm going to be ready to go, right, my work here is done. I'm going to send everyone in this community a lovely email and a little Christmas video saying thanks so much for basically being there and supporting me this year. Go and have an amazing Christmas. I'll see you in the new year. I feel great about that. What do you feel great about? Let's start just focusing on the positives. So, Rich, you're going to feel great, no doubt, about your bloody audition that you just crushed and you got the job. We will, as a community, take 25% commission on that for G'ing you up in your darkest hours. So just send a check. Send a check. We'll only accept pounds. None of this dollars nonsense. And do you know what, though? Don't know what's going on with the whole Brexit thing, but God knows what's going to happen to the pound if we don't sort this out in a few days' time. So let me know. What do you feel great about right now? The second question is, what are my greatest assets? No innuendo from anybody. What are your greatest assets? And the third question is, what am I super good at? And you know what people don't... Do you know what I don't think people like count as their assets? Sometimes as like things that hold no currency in society. And for some reason, I don't know why they don't hold currency. Things like, I'm a really decent person. I'm a really nice person. That word nice gets so like looked down upon, and it's bullshit. Nice guys, nice girls finish first, I swear to God, in life. And all this nice guys finish last bullshit, that's just nonsense that people just spout. I did an interview with Julie Hesmondhaus a couple of weeks ago. Go and listen to that on AtsOnThis.tv. You'll know her as Hayley from Coronation Street. She played roles in Cucumber, Banana, Broadchurch. She had a lead in Broadchurch. She's just on Doctor Who. She's an incredible actress. She went to a funeral of a very famous writer, and his husband, unfortunately, it was his husband that died. And he was given a eulogy, and he said, listen, this carries no currency and nice, but what I can say, the kindest, greatest thing I can say about my husband is he was such a nice man. And actually, in society, that like needs to count for way more than it does right now. That's success for me. Fulfillment, being nice, deploying kindness, empathy. I need to figure out the difference between empathy and sympathy. I think they're quite similar, but empathy, I think, is putting yourself in other people's shoes and understanding their situation. That should count for way, way more. But yeah, that can be one of your greatest assets. I'm so empathetic to other people, other actors, other people who want to be more than they are right now. Being kind, incredible asset. Doesn't have to be like my greatest assets. Oh, right, well, something to do with talent or acting. It's not all about that. What am I super good at? You might be super good at acting. Bobby says my greatest asset. Tony Ross has just joined as well. Chi-Town down. That means Chicago for all you less street people than me. My greatest asset is probably that I can become good friends with... This is an incredible asset, Bobby. Bobby said my greatest asset is probably that I can become good friends with most people quite easily, and I enjoy making people feel good about themselves. What an incredible asset that a lot of people, Bobby, might not even like think is an asset or something that they should be kind of proud of. He says also, my equipment to do voiceover at home will soon all be here. I'll be doing my first feature film next year and more projects to look forward to. So that's what you feel great about right now. Tony Rossi, we're doing a couple of questions to reframe situations people might be in right now. The questions are, what do you feel great about right now? What are your greatest assets and what you're super good at? Let me know. Tony Rossi will have some answers, definitely. Tony, I saw some pictures of you, man. Were you on stage last night? What were you doing? He's in a show, isn't he? He had some sort of like old-fashioned kind of like, I don't know what it looked like, an Army General's, like a proper old-fashioned one though. Army General's top on. I'm going to skip through a bit of this chapter now because this is all like exercises and things. You should read this book. There's so many like practical exercises in this book, which is great. But there's a part later on that I liked the look of. Let's have a look. Right, channeling your energy. because this is something that people don't do properly. They put all their energy into resistance and stopping themselves from doing shit or focusing on the wrong stuff. Bobby says, Tony, love you, boss. We all love you, Tony. Sorry, Ross, I lost the internet for a few seconds. What was that about? About a check? What? Are you making that up, Rich? Because I said you can send us a check, the commission. Is that what we're talking about for your job? So we only want pounds, though. None of this dollars nonsense. Or do you just conveniently lose the internet when we're talking about commission? I missed the start of this. What is the book? So the book, Jill, I can't show you the cover of it, unfortunately. I've got it digitally here, but it's called Motivate Yourself, and it's by a guy called Andro, so Andro Donovan, like Jason Donovan, Andro Donovan. Motivate Yourself. This little bit of the chapter says, chat about channeling your energy, right? Rather than spending copious amounts of energy thinking about what we don't want, wouldn't it be great to channel the same energy, being awesome, right? And attention into what we do want. It's only when we think and contemplate what we desire that we set in motion billions of energy waves and frequencies that are on a mission to create what we have already envisioned. That's coming next in this book. We won't have time to cover that, but ultimately visualization about what you want is really important. When we use our mind thoughts in this way, miracles begin to happen to us. Aristotle said that the very act of reflecting on an idea, any idea, sets the process of creation into action. This is an integral component of living a motivated, wired for satisfaction life. I do believe it's not, there's no it's not about faking it till you make it. It's bullshit. And it's not about just, putting it out to the universe and then sitting on your backside and doing nothing, but having a clear vision of what it is you want in 2019. And I mean really, really clear. Not nonsense things like I want to earn more money and I want to work more as an actor. It's you probably set that goal for the last 10 years and it hasn't worked. And it hasn't worked because it's muddy as hell. It's not clear. I mean, you get super, super specific. I want 3 lines on this show by March the 31st, 2018. Right, we're super specific. We know we've got 3 months to achieve this. Let's work backwards and see how that would work. I want to earn an extra £5,000 by June the 1st, 2018. Right, we break that down. We've got 6 months. So that's, we need to make, less than £1,000 a month. How do we do that? Let's break that down into a week. So how can we, make £200 extra per week, right? And then we break that down into days potentially. You've got to get massively, massively specific. But by thinking of those ideas, you are literally setting them in motion. Nick says, open my own business at the start of the year. Nice one, Nick. And it's going really well. I feel great about that, as I was worried about failing within the first year. Fingers crossed it goes well next year. We don't even need to cross our fingers, Nick. We make sure it goes well next year, mate. What business is it? Let me know, man, if I can help you with anything like on the digital side of stuff. Tony says, yes, I play a character in Military Academy. Look at that. I've got an eye for it, you see. My greatest asset is helping others be happier before their situation changes or their challenges go away. Boom. Tony Rossi. I love the way you open your live broadcast, Tony. Tony does live broadcasts similar to this, but he does them on a Sunday. And you always open it so energetically, man, and you do this little finger click thing where you go like that. And I'm like, there he is. There's a lad getting stuck in. Nick, what's the business in, mate? Let me know what you're doing. Definitely, if we can help you promote anything, let us know as well. So what you focus on is what you get ultimately. And again, I was saying to this person yesterday, the first person ever I've had to basically eject from Bulletproof Actor. I never ever thought, well, you know what? It was in the back of my head to go, you know what? At some point, this is going to happen. I'm going to be incompatible with somebody. I think we did very well to get over 300 actors through the program and have no resistance or friction from anybody. But yeah, I was saying, listen, what you focus on is what you get. And all this person could see right now was blame for where this person was in their life and how it wasn't that. Right, I'll be honest with you, I would never say who this was or anything like that. I'm not divulging anything. But again, accountability. This person had an accident. And I don't know the ins and outs of it, so I can't talk about it, and I won't. But if it was me, I'm just saying this is how I would operate, okay? And this is how I do operate. I take full accountability for my eye condition, right? I didn't even ask for it. I was born with it. It's a genetic, hereditary condition. I'm losing my eyesight. I take full accountability for it. I don't blame anybody for it. This is me. Would I rather be here with this than not be here? I'd rather be here with this. Let's go. Let's do it. But I was like, listen, accident or not, if I ultimately, if I leave the house, right, I am choosing to leave the house and I'm choosing to put myself in a more dangerous environment out there. When I step out into the road and cross the road, they hadn't had an accident on the road, by the way, something entirely different, but they had chosen to put themselves in this situation, and they knew there was risks, and there was an accident, and it resulted in a negative outcome. Obviously, they didn't want it, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But I'm like, you also need to accept that you chose to put yourself in that situation. Take accountability for the outcome, own it, and it will no longer own you. Embrace it, use it to fuel you moving forward. But this person wasn't ready to do that, and they were just very, very, very angry at the world. And then, ultimately taking a lot of that out on everyone around them, including myself. And I'm like, well, this is not fair for the rest of the group. This is just not conducive right now for a decent outcome. But again, taking accountability. She would just focus on all the negatives and not focus on any of the positives in her life or situation. And you get what you focus on, and you get what you appreciates, as Tony Robbins says. If you want more shit in your life, just focus on everything, all the shit that's already there. You'll get more of it, because it's all you'll be able to see. And it's on a scientific level. Part of your brain called your reticular activating system will just tune into the things that you focus on. It's the same reason why you're thinking of getting a new car, and then you go out on the road, and the next day you see that model of car you're looking for everywhere. Or, ladies, you might be thinking of having a baby, and then you see baby adverts and babies in prams everywhere. You might have a health scare, and suddenly, I've had this one, I've gone, oh God, I've got a lump here. And then I suddenly, I go, right, I better get that checked out by the doctor. And then I see like cancer adverts everywhere, and I'm like, shit. Because my RAS is tuned into it. I've not manifested that shit. That's just happen because I'm now seeing that. So if my RAS is tuned into negative, I'm going to see way more negative. Nick, go get him, Nick, says Tony. Nick says, it's a vehicle body repair shop. Nice, man. That's good. Let me know how you're doing, like social media and stuff, and whether you're using, you're creating your own content. I just think, for any business right now, social media, Instagram, videos, pictures, Twitter, Facebook, all kinds of stuff, man. It's just so... It's such a visual industry, car bodies as well, man. Vehicle bodies, like you could definitely, grow your business very quickly, via social media on that side of things. Richard, it doesn't matter, Nick. You are your own boss. The acting will follow. Yeah, very different from acting, man. But it's, what? I wish more actors were business savvy, and they looked at I met an actor today who's incredibly business savvy. He's currently on a UK tour of Wicked, the musical, doing very well in that, and. Me and him, we meet up every now and again, and all we do is we talk about the business of the business and how we can use business from a traditional business sense within the show business industry. It all applies, man. It's all very, very, relative. Relevant was the word I wanted to use there. Got to pay the bills, mates, says Rich. Never give up. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm sure there's probably quite a lot of money in fixing car bodies as well. People spend a lot of cash on vehicles, don't they? So what you focus on is what you get, and the mindset or lens. That's the thing, right? Ultimately, you choose which pair of glasses you put on in the morning. Hypothetically speaking, you put your optimistic glasses on and you see the world in a far, far better way, or you put your pessimistic glasses on and everything's shit, and you're just setting yourself up for a terrible day. What lenses we put on and we look at life through will dictate our outcome. Being conscious of these mindsets loosens their grip on us. Becoming more conscious of what they are and writing them down helps us to disassociate them from your best self and begin to lessen their power over you. And that's really just empowering beliefs and disempowering beliefs. When you can observe your own thoughts, I think that's very special when you get to that place where you can realize you're unhappy and go, you know what, today I'm not feeling my best. And then you can almost like step out of your head for a second, look at yourself and go, right, what's going on right now? Well, that's happening right now. So no wonder. Oh, and that happened. Oh, and remember 6 months ago when you were told that's still affecting you. When you can observe your thoughts and not chase after them, like a dog chasing cars or something, but you can sit there and just watch them go by. You can understand them. You can do way more with them. So the chapter then goes into disempowering mindset. So we've already explored some of the roots of your beliefs. Now we're ready to consider how the mindsets we adopt can disempower us. These are the mindsets we want to come away from. Come on, Kindle, what are you doing? There you go. Disempowered will leave you feeling less confident and powerless in situations where you would want to be operating at your highest level and being your best self. Some of these mindsets I'm sure you'll be able to bring immediately to mind. Get out of your journal. You don't have to get out your journal. It says, enlist the disempowering mindsets you're currently operating out of. Consider how these mindsets keep you stuck in your comfort zone. In other words, and this is a very difficult concept, there is always something in it for ourselves when we repeat limiting patterns, i.e., we are usually avoiding confronting something we are holding as a deeper truth. Read that statement again. It's important to understand that there is something at the root of your mindset that may not be entirely clear at the moment. So you might be like, why do I always do this? Why do I always self-sabotage myself? Why every relationship that I go into after 6 weeks do I just ruin it? And that's probably because there is something you're massively afraid of, commitment, because you don't want to get hurt, so you hurt someone else before they can hurt you. The amount of times I've heard that in people. Oh, I just dumped her before she could dump me. I'm like, was it working? Yeah, it's really good. Why did you dump her then? Oh, because didn't want to get hurt, mate. I really started to like her, so I just had to get rid of her. Wow. You know, that's a massively, massively limiting, disempowering mindset to operate from, you know. And I think to a certain extent, people end up addicted to the struggle. Sometimes actors, I feel, don't want to have any success because then it's, you know, they'd have to stop moaning on Twitter about how hard it is. Bobby says, it'll never catch on. I still think indoor plumbing becoming a thing was a fluke. What's this, Bobby? What? I heard of a killer, not perfect accountability and mindset group some actor is running right now. Sound like a solid side business. That's me, that is Tony. He's done a winky face. Yeah, join the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, people, at facebook.com/hats on this. No, /groups/hats on this TV. Nick, you're the Pimp My Ride of this generation. Whatever happened to that show? Pimp My Ride. That was an interesting one, wasn't it? Hey, I've got this really shit car that's falling apart, and they go, right, we'll put 50 grand into this car that's worth $250, and we'll put screens on it everywhere and hydraulics to make it completely, absolutely ridiculous. Put some flames on it, flamethrower out the back. Boom, there you go. It's an incredible show. So yeah, you got that. Ultimately, have a think about. I'm not going to go into the rest of this chapter on disempowering mindsets. We know about that. I talk about it all the time, but just have a think about patterns in 2018. You know, has there been something that's come up time and time again, and something that you wanted to change in 2018 because you'd suffered it in, you know, you'd lived with it in 2017, and it hasn't changed in 2018, and now you're like, right, okay, I wanted to change this in 2018 because it had been happening to me in 2017, and I haven't. I really need to work at this, and we'll sort that out in 2019. If there is, and that pattern's occurring, there's probably a reason for it that you might not be aware of, but it will be that effectively you're holding on to it. People who don't want to, I was talking to Lewis about his weight issue, and he was like, he knows he's got like, just problems with that. Something bad will happen and he'll just comfort eat, etc. He knows what he needs to do. We all know if we want to get a six-pack, we need to eat right and do sit-ups. Yet and that's not, this isn't difficult knowledge. It's very, very, very easy. Lose weight. You basically use up more calories than you take in. We know that. Why is like 60% of the population overweight? And it's because for some reason they're not acting upon their knowledge. They would rather go, oh, it's something else, so I'll do it. I'll go and spend all this money on this crazy diet where all you do is eat meat, or you drink green juice for 6 months. And they want to overcomplicate it. And it's because, they're, I don't know, they're holding on to something and making it way more complicated than they need to be. A lot of actors hold on to this notion that the acting industry is the most difficult thing in the world, and it's almost like they don't want to have any success because it disproves their point then of why they should be having more success. Or they don't try because they've got a fear of changing, a fear of going through the process, and a fear of the outcome not being what they want. Just have a think if there is anything in your life. Definitely, there's definitely things. You know what? There's things in my life I know I want to travel more in 2019. 100%, I do, and I can. This year I've been, on a practical level. Oh, I've got time. Could have made time for it, but I know I just, traveling is not really something that excites me in terms of the actual journey. Don't like flying. I hate being out of control, and not because I'm a massive control freak. hate being out of control. So getting on a plane and basically giving up my entire life to someone else who's in control seems completely, bonkers for me. I'll do it. I've not got an irrational fear of flying, but it's not something that I go, I'd love to go and sit on a plane for 13 hours. So I know I need to, definitely work on that. There's a pattern there. Going, right, okay, well, why is this occurring? I need to get more excited about what I would gain from getting on the plane than the fear of having to, go and do it. It's interesting. There's always a reason why we're not doing something. And take me with you, says Bobby. Well, come to Chicago. Yeah, you know what? Definitely. We should do that. There's no reason why in 2019, Bobby, I can't go to Chicago. Definitely. I've got to go and visit my mate. I've got to go in April. These are the places I've been looking, because I was like, right, you know what? To make yourself do it, book tickets, book events, book seminars, book conferences, go and do something, go to concerts or whatever. There's one in Irvine, California, I'm going to in April. I'm going to visit my mate in LA, probably sometime around the same time, because he lives not far from there. And then, you know what? I don't even know how far it is, mate. We could get a little cheeky flight to Chi-Town for a couple of days before flying home. We'll try and make it happen. In fact, there is no try. You either just do it or you don't. So we'll just make it happen in 2019. Tony, let's do that. Bobby, you're more than welcome. I'm not paying for you, but you can jump on that as well. But yeah, have a think if there's things in your life where you're like, I know I'm blocking myself from that. I'm blocking myself from traveling. I know I am. Absolutely 100%. And if you've got limiting beliefs around why you can and can't do things, ask those questions I mentioned before. What is it that I'm actually, is this true? Ultimately, that's the thing, is this true? And 9 times out of 10, you won't be able to prove it. You'll be able to prove it as false. All these limiting beliefs, generally, you can't back them up with factual evidence. You just can't. I've done this exercise with people so many times. Is this really true? What am I avoiding by doing this? What if I change this belief, to I can or I will do something, and how would I benefit by doing that? Ultimately, yeah, make the excitement of doing the thing and the result you're going to get by doing it louder than the fear, and you'll go through with it, definitely. And LA, Richard, do a tour coming out of Florida after Chicago and New York. Why don't we do? You know what? There is a US contingent of actors. There's so many people in the Bulletproof Actor group as well who are in the States. Daniel, a new guy, Daniel's in New York. There's some people in Atlanta. Where's Andrea? Because she's in. Don't know. She might be Louisiana. I've maybe made that up. She's somewhere. Georgia? I don't know. But yeah, there's quite a lot we could definitely do. We can do this, Rich. Exactly. Is it really true? Yes, it is true. We can do it. What am I avoiding? Nothing, because I'm just doing it. What if I change the belief that, I can't go to America for a meetup? I can, and I will. How would it benefit me? Well, because me or you guys would be amazing. I'm going to be traveling to see Eric Thomas speak at a seminar next year. Not sure which city yet, but I got a free pair of tickets with my membership. I'll let you know in case you want to come on. But let's hook it up at a time like that, so I can fly in and we can go and see E.T. What up? It's your man, E.T. Definitely. I'd be like the white Eric Thomas. I don't think I've quite got that kind of. It's like a preach, isn't it? It's almost like a sermon that Eric gives. He's a bit of a ledge when he speaks publicly. But yeah, it's your boy E.T. legend. Yeah, let's make it happen. It's gone 10 o'clock already, and we only basically read I wasn't reading the whole chapter. It's just dipped into it. I won't read any more on this book, but if you want to get it, just get it on Kindle. I'm sure it's less than $5, or I'm sure you can get the paperback version for it'll be less than £10 on Amazon.co.uk. Motivate Yourself, Andro Donovan. We've looked at it for 4 weeks. If you want to look at other parts, hear us talk about other parts of it, go to youtube.com/actonthisTV. Look in the Periscope and Facebook Live replay section, and you will see all of the book clubs on YouTube as well. So you can check them out there. But yeah, I just think it's important to now in 2018 get clarity for 2019, get motivated for 2019, start getting, real clear on what it is you want in the first quarter of the year. Don't look at the year necessarily as a whole and go, by December next year I want this. It's too far away. What do you want by March the 31st, 2019, sorry. What do you want to have happened by then? What's the one thing you could aim for right now that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? How have you held yourself back in 2018 through fear of something that's happened time and time again. You're not committing to something for what reason? And what bullshit are you feeding yourself? It's probably fear dressed up as practicality. You're telling yourself a practical reason why you can't do something, when actually, if you're just honest with yourself, it's because you're afraid. And I include myself in that as well. There's definitely things where I've gone, oh, okay, yeah, no, it's just not the, maybe not right now, or, I couldn't do that because of whatever. And I'm probably just afraid of stepping out and doing it. So I'm doing that more, definitely. I could have easily made an excuse at the weekend to not go to went down to London for a party, a casting director, great guy. Daniel Edwards was his birthday at the week. It was his birthday today, actually. Went out to his birthday party on Saturday night. I was going there, didn't know anyone. I'm like, oh, you know what? I mean, I know Daniel but you just rock up and you're like, oh, okay, it's probably not got time to do it. And it was just fear going, no, you don't want to rock up on your own. I didn't in the end anyway. I found somebody, but yeah, I know I would have allowed fear to dress itself up as practicality, and I would have made an excuse not to go. And really, my only excuse would have been, oh, I'm not really going to know anybody. It'd be a bit awkward. So yeah, stop feeding yourself bullshit excuses, and I'm going to do that as well. And let's get clear on what we want. Go to Yorkshire, pal. That's the LA of England. Yorkshire, God's own country, innit, Nick? Something like that. I think that's what Petch, my cameraman, always says. I'm sure he says it something like that. Myra says, I keep putting off having a holiday in case I miss a dream acting job. Myra, book a holiday, because then you will get auditions. Happens to me every time. Book a holiday, not only will you get auditions, but you'll book 2 of them on the same day, so you can only take one of them, and it will clash with your holiday. Just do it. Or the best outcome you can hope for, Myra, is that the jobs are worth at least £100 more than what you've lost cancelling your holiday and not going. So you're still in profit. Ching ching. Seriously, I can't tell you, but I can tell you the amount. I can't tell you the amount of times that happened. No, I can. It's about 3 times. It's definitely happened. Honestly, I mean, even when I've done stag do's and I've booked them on a Saturday and a Sunday for my mates, and then I've ended up getting a job. I got a job on Emmerdale once. The only time ever I filmed a soap on a Sunday, and they could have booked it on any of the other 51 Sundays of the year, but they booked it on the one Sunday that I was going on a stag do with one of my best mates. So I had to go on the Friday, stay over, go on the Saturday for half the night out, go home very early, and then get up to go and shoot that on the Sunday, missing like basically half of the stag do. Happens a lot. I had to fly to another stag do in Berlin from a commercial I was doing in Parma, so I couldn't stay there for the duration of that, and I had to like cut that short and get them to book me another flight. Book a holiday, Myra. You will get work, I swear to God. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. If it starts drying up in the new year, I'm just going to book loads of holidays. For the record, I have a goal to attend an Acts on This meetup in the UK with you all. Tony, you should. I would love it. The London lot just came up. Myra and everybody came up from London just to surprise me from the London one to the Manchester one, the Christmas one we just had a week ago. It was incredible. If you just turned up one day on a Saturday morning, surprise! Oh, it's Tony from Chicago. It'd just be amazing, mate. Absolutely amazing. I would definitely buy you all of your lattes for the entire. You wouldn't spend a penny at the meetup. I booked my dream holiday January. Says Lowry. Where's that to, Lowry? Manchester. Coming to Urmston in Manchester, where I live. That's most people's dream location. Yeah, let us know where that is, and we'll wrap it up. We've looked at a lot of good books this year. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a page on actsonthis.tv, a resource page of all the books we've looked at over the last 2 years. Because if you look behind me on these shelves, we've looked at all of these. It doesn't look like that much, but there's probably, I don't know, there's got to be like 50 books there, hasn't there? And I'm going to create a resource list of all the ones we've looked at and the ones that I would highly recommend people read that are relevant, not just to your acting career, but like, creativity in general. I think it's really, it's really useful. I think books are just brilliant, Ultimately, each one of these books is a guy or a girl's life, and all of the majority of it, or at least many, many years of experience of their life. And you can basically absorb potentially a lifetime's worth of material in 2 days reading somebody's book. And you go, wow, you know what? That took that person 2 decades to, cultivate that knowledge. What a gift. I've got it in my head now in just 2 days. just saved myself 19 years. Powerful. Urmston rocks, says Richard. Yes, it does, Rich. Rich came to Urmston with me. We sat in Lily's that you'll see on the vlog. Rich, all the way from Miami or Florida, wherever he is now, flew over to have a brew in Lily's. It was amazing, Rich. Lowry's keeping it to herself where she's booked her holiday. She doesn't want us turning up, just surprising her. She doesn't want Tony Rossi just rocking up, going surprise. Right, I'm going to go in a minute. If I can do anything for anybody, let me know. As always, we've got just 3 weeks of this year left, literally. Please use it wisely. We will do. I'm going to do the last. Do you know what? Next Monday will be the last live broadcast of the year. There won't be one the Monday after because it'd be. Would it be Christmas Eve? Yeah, it'd be Christmas Eve, wouldn't it? We're not doing going carol singing on Christmas Eve, and no one would want to watch. So it will be the last one next Monday. It'll probably just be. I don't know what it'll be. It might be on goal setting. Oh, before I go, Michael Hyatt, let me give you this web address. So remember I gave something out called a Life Score. Michael Hyatt every year does a program on goal setting that I buy every single year. It's fantastic. It changed my life in 2014. Taught me really how to get clear and set strategic goals. I'd recommend everyone gets it. You know, not even joking. Everybody should buy this program. He gives away, though, some free videos before he launches the program. They're really valuable on their own. If you don't want to buy the program off him, go and get these videos. So he gave a life score thing out last week where you could basically check your life score out. The web address for that, I've put it up on Acts on this. It's basically act.network/ and this is important. It's it's just / life score 2019. So act.network. So it's not actsonthis.tv. It's a short URL. act.network / life score 2019 2019. And also act.network / video series 2019. Series spelled SERIES. Let's see if I've got the if I put my web browser up very quickly. Oh, just put a bit of Asan on again. So act, let me type it in, .network / let's see if it works, video series 2019, video series 2019. Boom! And there you go. It takes you through to something's wrong here. So I've clearly not typed it in right. Act.network. Oh, it's because I've put it all in capital letters. That's why. Idiot. It's case sensitive, by the way. Video. Yeah, it is case sensitive. It's all lowercase. So act.network / video series 2019. And it'll take you through to this page here. And you literally, there's a little video there, but you can just put your email address in and you're going to get this video series from Michael Hyatt for free. Goal setting secrets to make 2019 your best year ever. It's not bullshit and hype. It's very, very, very good. And I'd recommend you get it for free whilst you can. Acts.network / video series 2019. Go get that and just start thinking about really what you want to achieve in 2019. Let's all help each other hit those goals next year. Great show as always, says Rich. Thank you, Rich, for being here. When do we get to Skype? Bobby, do you know what? I'll have to do some sort of I don't Skype really. I have to do some sort of FaceTime or something when I'm out and about walking from somewhere to somewhere. We'll sort something out, man. Definitely. Send me. Are you on Face? Have you got FaceTime? Send me your email address for FaceTime, and I'll just hit you with a surprise Christmas FaceTime from somewhere having a mulled wine or something, just as a little surprise. But thank you for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Like I say, if I can do anything for you, drop me an email anytime. It's ross@actsonthis.tv. Hit me up on Twitter. Would hugely appreciate if you've got any young kids in the family, you get them watching something on CBeebies if you're in the UK called Tinpo. It's a new show that I'm in. I do the voice of Tinpo. Came out today. It's freaking good. Those in the UK, go on iPlayer and just search for Tinpo. 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 It's a little blue guy. Honestly, you know what? Even as an adult, it's freaking good. It's really well animated. It's beautiful. Sound design on it is amazing. I'm hoping we do really well of it. But the first episode came out at 4 o'clock today. There's 10 episodes out before Christmas, and there's another 68 in 2019. It's going to be big. It's ironic that it's the biggest project I've ever done, and I'm actually not in it. My face isn't in it, just my voice. But it was a hell of a lot of fun. It was so good to do that. So yeah, got any young kids, please get them to go and watch that. Tell all their friends about it. Let's get it to number 1. Thank you, Nick. Thanks to everyone who's been here tonight watching. Thanks to everybody who's been listening on the audio experience. If you're catching up on the audio experience replay, or you're watching on YouTube on the replay, I think Alex always watches on the replay on YouTube. Always leaves comments, and I will reply to that. Apologies if people have been leaving comments and stuff, and I've not replied. I will definitely get better at that. Right, I'm going to reload this, and I'm going to end this elegantly, I hope. Come on, Facebook. Where are you? Publishing tools. Here we are, live video. Nope, doesn't want me to do that. I always do this, don't I? Always like, just can't end anything. There you go. There you go. It's like it's all working. I can't see your comments now, unfortunately. If you've got any comments, if you have got anything, like I say, email me ross@atsonthis.tv. Be accountable for exactly where you're at. Remember, every decision you have made. Fuck what life has dealt you, right? We can't help that. But every decision you have made of how you respond to life has been your choice. Don't kid yourself that it's not your choice. Don't say I can't help it. I just feel angry at that. You do, but you still have a choice. You still have a choice to respond and not react. Take accountability for where you are, responsibility for your life, your career, your actions, everything. And I swear to God, you will just get all your power back when you're like, listen, the situation I'm in right now, I couldn't predict it. I'm going to take full accountability for it, full responsibility. This is my fault. I'm here. I chose to be here. Even if someone fucked you over, you chose to deal with them. You might have been cheated on. Well, you chose to enter a relationship with that person. You might have been done out of money. Well, you chose to do a transaction with that person. Take responsibility. You win all the power back. It's just empowering as hell. And you're going to 2019, like in control, ready to win. So thank you. Don't forget to go and listen to Asan's podcast as well, atsonthis.tv, and the vlog, youtube.com/watchross. Until next time, till next Monday, the last broadcast of 2018. Have a cracking week. Bye for now.